Your body moves through the day like everything is fine, but your mind is carrying weight no one else can see. It's not the kind of tired that sleep fixes. It's the tired that comes from thinking too much, for too long, about everything and nothing all at once. It's the exhaustion of trying to be okay when your mind won't give you a moment's peace. You wake up already depleted, already behind, like your brain's been running a marathon while your body rested. Overthinking doesn't take breaks. It loops. It rewinds. It replays conversations and decisions, edits your words, questions your tone, analyzes expressions that lasted only seconds. It digs up things that happened years ago and makes you relive them like they just happened. You try to find relief, but rest isn't what you're looking for anymore. Distraction is. You drown yourself in noise, music playing loud in your ears, scrolling endlessly through apps, watching shows you're not really paying attention to, talking about anything except what's actually on your mind, eating even when you're not hungry. It's not because you're bored. It's because silence is dangerous. Silence means your thoughts have space to speak. And when they do, they're sharp, loud, ruthless. They remind you of every awkward moment, every mistake, every imagined disaster waiting to happen. You smile automatically, nod along in conversations, laugh at jokes, but inside your brain is scanning everything. Did you sound stupid? Did that person glance away because they're bored? Was your tone off? Are you coming across as needy? You don't want to care, you know it doesn't matter, but that logic doesn't stop your brain from dissecting every second. It's like there's a second version of you in your head, constantly judging, constantly replaying, never letting anything go. The worst part is that no one can see it. From the outside, you just look like someone who's quiet, maybe a little tired, maybe thoughtful. They don't see the storm. They don't hear the arguments you're having in your own mind, with yourself, with people who aren't there, with versions of events that didn't even happen. They don't know how loud it is inside, how much energy it takes to function while your mind is constantly somewhere else. They don't realize that your silence isn't peace. It's survival. You could be surrounded by people, smiling and laughing, but you still feel separate, like there's a glass wall between you and the moment. While others are present, you're analyzing yourself, wondering if you belong, if you're annoying, if they actually like you, if you said something weird. You want to enjoy yourself, you really do, but enjoyment takes presence, and overthinking doesn't allow that. Keeps dragging you back into yourself. It whispers, questions, pokes. Even when you're doing nothing at all, your mind is doing everything. And the world doesn't notice, because overthinking is invisible. It doesn't leave marks. It doesn't have symptoms you can show. It just drains you quietly. You walk through life trying to appear normal, trying to hold it all in, to keep the spinning thoughts beneath the surface. But it's tiring. You're tired, and no one knows why. That's the cruel truth of it. It hides behind silence. It wears the mask of being fine. But inside, you're burning out from a war no one else can see. You open a message and read it once, then again, then maybe a third time, not because you didn't understand the words, but because you're scanning for something beneath them, a tone, a pause, a shift. You're looking for subtext that might not be there. You wonder if they meant it how they said it, or if there's something they're not saying. You draft a response, then delete it. Type another, then edit it. You sit with your thumb hovering over the send button, second-guessing every word. Was it too long? Too short? Too eager? Too cold? You hit send. Then check if it's been seen. Then wonder if they saw it too soon and thought you were desperate, or too late and thought you were ignoring them. You rehearse things that haven't happened yet. Entire conversations, start to finish. You prepare different paths depending on how they might respond. If they say one thing, you'll say another. If they say nothing, you'll figure out what that silence means too. Later, you'll replay what was actually said, rewriting it in your head, changing your replies, thinking of better ways to phrase your thoughts. Smarter, kinder, more confident. You imagine what would have happened if you had been braver, or quieter. You become a director, writer, and actor in your own mind, trying to control outcomes that have already passed. You remember small things, things most people don't notice, let alone carry. A slight shift in someone's tone, the exact words they used, even if they didn't seem important. The way someone looked away mid-sentence. A joke you made that no one laughed at. A compliment that didn't quite land. You don't hold grudges. You hold echoes. Echoes that loop and return when you least expect them. It's not because you're weak or dramatic. It's because your brain doesn't drop things. Collects them. Stores them. Sorts them like evidence. For what, you're not always sure. Overthinking has woven itself into your daily rhythm. It's not just something you do. It's something that happens inside you without asking. It's become a habit. An invisible one. People see you pause and think you're calm. Focused. But they don't see the thousands of thoughts rushing behind your eyes. The questioning, the doubting, the editing. They see stillness, not knowing it's covering chaos. They compliment your attentiveness, not realizing it comes from fear. Fear of misunderstanding. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear of saying too much or saying too little or saying the wrong thing altogether. You feel things deeply, then overanalyze why you feel them at all. You wonder if you're too sensitive, if you're too intense, if you should just stop caring so much. But even that becomes something to overthink. You question why your brain works like this. You compare yourself to others. People who seem relaxed, unbothered, easygoing. People who reply to texts without thinking twice. Who speak without rehearsing. Who forget things they said 5 minutes ago. And you wonder how they do it. How they just live. You don't choose to overthink. You just do. It's automatic. Quiet. Exhausting. You walk through life overprepared and underrested. Carrying a mental to-do list of emotions and what-ifs. You long for silence but fear it too. Because in silence your thoughts get louder. And sometimes you don't want to face them. So you keep moving, keep analyzing, keep rehearsing. Not to be better. Not even to be right. Just to feel a little less lost. A little more in control. Even if that control is only in your own head. You've lived with this noise for so long that it feels like a part of you. Like background music that never turns off. You call it normal, not because it feels good, but because it's familiar. The spinning, questioning, analyzing. It's been with you for years. You assume everyone else is doing the same thing. That behind every calm smile is a storm like yours. But then you see people who seem untouched by it. People who let things go, who shrug and move on, who fall asleep without a single thought racing through their minds. And in those moments you realize your mind works differently. And you wonder why. Sometimes you envy them, not out of bitterness, but from a quiet longing. You wish you could forget the awkward thing you said 3 years ago. You wish you didn't care how long someone took to reply. You wish your mind didn't build entire futures from one uncertain moment. You wish you could just be instead of always being on edge. You crave stillness, simplicity, lightness. But maybe this part of you isn't broken. Maybe it's just different. Maybe your overthinking isn't a flaw to fix, but a trait born from caring too deeply. You don't obsess because you're dramatic. You obsess because you want to understand. Because you feel everything on a deeper level. You want to make sense of the world, of people, of yourself. You replay moments not to punish yourself, but to learn, to improve, to protect. Comes from empathy. From a desire to get it right. And while it's tiring, it's also kind of beautiful. Still, even the most thoughtful minds deserve rest. You deserve peace, even if your thoughts never completely stop. You deserve to feel safe inside your own head. You don't always need to explain yourself. You don't need to justify your pauses, your silences, your boundaries. You don't owe the world constant clarity. You are allowed to exist gently. To breathe without overthinking every inhale. Maybe peace won't come in a dramatic shift, but in small moments. Maybe it starts tonight. Not with trying to silence your thoughts, but with watching them. Letting them come and go without attaching to them. Without believing everything they say. Thoughts are not commands. They're just visitors. You don't have to wrestle them. You can notice them, like clouds drifting across the sky. Some are heavy. Some are light, some stormy, some soft, but none of them are you. You are the sky, the space, the awareness that holds it all. Your thoughts pass through, but they are not who you are. You are something steadier, something softer, something quiet beneath the noise. You don't have to fight yourself to feel peace. You can rest even if your mind is still moving. You can be kind to yourself in the middle of the chaos. You can let go not of the thoughts, but of the pressure to control them all. So maybe tonight you give yourself permission, not to fix but to feel, not to escape but to observe. You don't have to do anything. Just sit, just be. Let the thoughts come and let them go.
No judgment. No panic.
Just breath, just presence. You've carried so much in silence. You've survived your own mind again and again. And now maybe it's time for something softer. Maybe it's time to pause and just breathe.